Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, I've got my new project monster that I've been working on. I owe a big thanks to Childish for making a video about the Earth Ninja because I realized I hadn't really looked into the ninjas. And so it made me have a look into all of them. And the Wind one was the first one that I found that I really wanted to build. He's just got a really interesting kit. And well, we'll go through it and I'll explain a bit about it. But we'll go through his abilities, we'll go through his stats, and then I'll show you how I used him in arena farming and dungeons. So his abilities, his passive is a really cool one. So basically, if he kills an enemy, all the other enemies have their cooldowns increased by 2 turns. So basically, they can only use their auto attack on their next turn. His second skill attacks an enemy inflicting great damage based off own speed. If attack is critical, decreases the defense for 2 turns and recovers the turn. Now mine is max skilled, and this starts out as a 1-turn defense break and a 4-turn cooldown. So the skill ups are fairly decent on it, and I think you also get 25% damage increase through skill ups as well. So that's very decent. So my idea with this was that he could be used as a massive nuke because he inflicts great damage. If they already have armor break on them, it's going to do a huge amount of damage. But if they don't, he'll be able to armor break them, gain the turn, and then hopefully kill with his auto attack, and then increase the rest of the enemy's cool times. So my thought with this was, in arena, you could use him in a standard AoE nuking team, but he's only going to pick off one target and increase the other's cooldowns, and then the next turn he can pick off another target. That's the sort of mind frame I was in. And then if we look at his auto attack, this one is the one I got. I had 2 of them. I evolved them both because I was looking for the other skill. I didn't get it. But this is the 30% chance of sleeping an enemy for 1 turn. The other one is a 40% chance of blocking beneficial effects for 1 turn. And originally I thought that the beneficial effects was going to be massive for him, the block in the Wrath Dungeon for the boss. But the way the timing works, I'd have to really glyph him a bit faster so that he attacks the boss the first time. Then if he applies it, the boss will attack, and because it's only a 1-turn duration, the boss will lose it before the null gives him invincibility. So I'd need to speed tune him so that he would get 2 turns, basically go between the boss and the null. But that's a bit more in depth. He works fairly well without it anyway. It would always just be good to have that beneficial block to stop the bosses shielding himself. But yeah, that's his kit. It's a really nice kit. Then we look at his stats. So his 2 main ones you're looking at are speed and attack. I'll go quickly into HP. So his HP base is 6,137, which means he prefers percentage over flat. And his defense is very low at 465, which means he prefers flat over percent. The big 2, like I said, attack and speed. He's actually, for a Saboteur, he's got incredibly high base attack. Much higher than I thought he would have. It turns out to be 1,393. And that puts him into the range of wanting percentage over flat, which is very good, which means you just get more mileage out of your glyphs basically. And then the other one we wanted was speed. He's got an amazing 87 base speed, which is the second highest in the game. I'm pretty sure 88's the highest. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure 88 is the highest, and there's only a couple with that. So those 2 main stats that you really wanted are what he has very strong in. The crit, he's got the standard base 25 crit. He's only got the 150 crit damage, 25 accuracy, and 15 resistance. So the other thing, when I was glyphing this guy, my thoughts were, okay, the first thing I want is 100% crit, because on a unit like this, I'll make a video about glyphing attacking units, but normally when I glyph attack units, if I get around 80% crit rate, I'm happy. Then I'll try and plunge more into crit damage. But this guy, because everything rides on him getting that extra turn and armor breaking and then killing an enemy. So if I went into a game with, say, 90% crit and I was using him in arena, basically that means 1 in every 10 matches on average I'm just going to lose it because I'm not going to get that cooldown reduction on the enemy. So crit rate was my most important thing for him. After crit rate, I was just looking at speed, attack, and I couldn't really squeeze in too much crit damage after that. So I put speed on the top two, and then attack percent on the bottom two, looking for those speed subs, crit rate subs, and some accuracy. I got him up to 50% accuracy, which I feel is fairly decent. But the speed I haven't upgraded his speed glyphs to max because I need to speed tune him with my arena team. And this guy who is my armor breaker, you can see is 168, so I'm sort of limited by how fast the rest of my team is. And then, as you can see, I've pretty much run out of crystals for upgrading the rest of the glyphs. But that's him in a nutshell, the stats, the skills, the glyphs. My glyphs are fairly average, they're not amazing. I feel like he'll be much better on sort of better glyphs. These were just the leftovers I had, that's why he's on lifesteal. Lifesteal is also handy for farming. And I'll show you quickly, I actually farmed him up in the Nightmare of Sunken City from 4-star. So I was actually running him in here from 4-star and then just on the lifesteal. And he does pretty well because he has that armor break, he has that passive that increases cooldowns. So he pretty much just does this the whole time and then they auto attack him and then he gets his health back. And he's fairly fast, so he laps them. And that's pretty much how it goes the whole time. We don't need to go too far into that. But yeah, very decent farmer. Once again, you do need those good glyphs to make him work. The next thing I'll show you is Arena. Now I have this concept for him where I'd love to use him in Arena, but I haven't built the other unit that I'd like to use him with. So at the moment, this is how I'm using my team. I use my Zealot attack buff boost, Purge with the Diva, then Armor Break with the Gargoyle, and then he does his thing where he increases their cooldowns and then slowly picks them off. What I'd really like to try is removing this Gargoyle and building up my Succubus. I know everyone, a lot of people know the Succubus. It's a very good unit, but the idea behind this was that the fire and air have perfect elemental coverage over each other. So the wind ninja will be doing weak damage to earth monsters, but the Succubus will be doing high damage to them, and likewise with the water for the Succubus versus the ninja. So the idea behind this team was I boost, give them both attack, crit damage, and then I purge with the Diva, and then what would happen is I'd have my Harpy tuned to move next, one-shot something with that second skill that ignores defense, then she'd get an extra turn, take a bit of a chunk out of something else, and then the ninja would be able to armor break them with his second skill, gain the other turn, and finish them off. So you basically delete 2 enemies, and the 2 remaining would have their cooldowns increased. That's something I'm thinking about. Obviously, I'd have to build my Succubus for that. I think I said Harpy through there. I always get it confused because they have that similar skill, so I call her Harpy a lot. But yeah, I'll show you how this one works as it is at the moment, and it's actually fairly decent. He doesn't hit as hard as I'd like him to, just because I haven't got enough crit damage chunked into him. But so we'll just go like that and then purge, and then I'll just freeze that one. Okay, missed the freeze, and then this is where he goes. So I'll kill that the druid first. Kill, they increase their cooldowns. Attack him, he doesn't die, but that's alright because the cooldowns are increased. All they can do is auto attack, and that's the basic gist of how it works from there on, is just keep picking one off, increasing their cooldowns. The problem is he doesn't do that much damage without the attack buff, so that's the one downfall to this comp. But like I said, if I had better glyphs, I feel like he would be doing better damage. But that's how he works in Arena at the moment. I really want to try that team with the Succubus if I ever get around to building it, because I've got some other projects on the go at the moment. But the other place I want to show you is the dungeons. Now, he is part of my fastest team I've been able to make in the Rat Dungeon. And that team is fairly unreliable. Well, when I say that, it's probably about 70 or 80% reliable. So it's not that great, but it does do under 2-minute runs. Fairly consistency when it does do it. And this, sorry, that's not him. This is the wrong team, sorry. we go, it ends up being, where is he? The ninja and the dragon. So that ends up being my fastest team at the moment. But like I said, it's not overly reliable, but it is always quick. But to make it a little bit more reliable, I've dropped the gargoyle and put in the holy sister, because I found that because he does his own armor break, he can always kill someone anyway. And the dragon, I know I'm using a lot of very good units that people don't have, but I'll just start this and show you what happens. But the dragon as well, with just the attack buff, he's normally got enough to just kill enemies. And something that just for people, because this game's all about using what you have and making the most of it. You can see there, he just one-shot something, increases the cooldowns. It means you won't cop their annoying attacks. Again, on this next stage, I'm hoping he'll be able to one-shot one of these samurais, and then you'll see how... and that's where AI is very annoying. He should have definitely attacked that one. But normally he'll kill a monster there, and then the harpies won't be able to use their annoying immortal death buff. So you basically never see that with him. Yeah, but for people who have the water vampire, I find that the ninja really synergizes well with him, just because the vampire is always giving those cooldown reductions, and because of the way he gets the additional turn, it's basically only one turn every time that he takes where he can't use his armor break. So if that vampire reduces his cooldowns once, he's got his armor break up the next turn again. Now I'm gonna manual this bit just to show you guys, just so I can get to the boss with the skills off cooldown, just so I can show you the full potential of him against the boss. It's actually fairly decent what he can do. So we'll just keep going away at these guys. And he actually does an insane amount of damage to the boss. And I think I just stuffed up. Don't proc anymore. Alright, here we go. Now I should be right. That's right. Okay, beautiful. She may do her thing. No. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I only noticed this one time when you get to it. Obviously, I don't have the armor break in this team, so it's not going to hit as hard on the first attack. But we'll see that with his first and second skills, they hit really hard. So this one will go on armor break. So that attack didn't have armor break on when he used it. So that's a lot of damage. So it would do even more if armor break was on. And then he gets his proc and does that. So he does about 50% of the boss's health without the boss already having armor break. So you can see when I use my my gargoyle in there as well, if that gargoyle gets the armor break on, so that his massive attack, the second skill, hits hard, he can do an insane amount of damage to the boss. So I actually really like him for this, especially if you got that beneficial block on the first skill as well. It's always handy. Okay guys, so I was editing that video and I realized that I didn't even have the speed buff in there. So I wanted to go through and test it with the attack buff, crit damage buff, speed buff, and the armor break already on the boss. So what I did, I just auto attacked the first turn, put the armor break on with this guy's second skill, and then put the speed buff on, put the attack buff on, and now it's his turn again. And I just really wanted to test and see how much he can actually do. And this is keeping in mind my glyphs aren't fantastic, and there is another thing we could put on to get more damage, which is the haunted debuff, but let's just see how it goes. So he's lost about 10 to 15% health already, so we'll hit this one. 26,000, and again. So that was huge damage. So that brought him down into the red zone, which I think is 30%. So that is actually fairly decent. I'm really impressed with that, actually, considering this guy has got no crit damage. I could buff his speed even more. One of his glyphs isn't maxed, his attack glyphs, so that is very impressive. I'm very happy with that. I'm just all around. I'm very happy with the way this guy turned out. He's just one of those units that, you know, I hadn't even thought about, and he's actually come out really well. So I am going to work on I'm still working on a 3-star speed team using attackers and not poisoners. It's pretty tough because poisoners are just so strong at the moment, but if you guys have any units that you think might help out in that, I'm more than happy to test. I'm currently working on the Samurai here, so I've 5-starred him, so keep a lookout for that video. I'll do one on him. I think he's going to be an amazing nuker for Arena, so just keep a watch out for him. And then if there's any other cool, mainly 3-stars, I've got the 4-stars that I have, but I like to do content on stuff that applies to more people. So any 3-star units that you think are interesting and you'd like me to test out, I've actually got a couple in mind that I've been thinking about for a while. This guy's one of them, the Water Juggernaut. He's not that highly rated, but I just think with his passive, I just feel like there's good shenanigans that can be had, and I love fun mechanics like this. Another one that I was actually looking at was when I went into the ninjas. I'm not sure how it will work out, but this water ninja has a similar base attack to the wind one. So he's got a very high base attack, very high base speed again at 81, and he's just got a cool little kit again where he increases the speed of an ally, the healing effects, whatever, but then he recovers the turn. So he can put this on himself and then nuke AoE with an attack based on his own speed. So I'm not sure of the damage multiplier of this, but it's just one that I was also thinking about doing. Please tell me if you have any Earth 3-stars or Fire 3-stars that you'd like me to make, because I have so much 1-star fodder for them. I'm pretty much empty on Wind and Water. So yeah, if there's any other cool units you reckon I should build, just leave it in the comments. And if you see someone else's comment that you have a unit that you like, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll have a look through that, and then eventually get around to building one. Obviously I can't do it overnight because I need to pull my resources for it, but yeah, that's about it. Wind Ninja, in summary, I reckon he's a fantastic unit. Not so much early game, you need the good glyphs for him, and he's not a unit that's just going to be overpowered by himself. He does need a good team setup, but when he's got that right setup, I think he's absolutely fantastic. So thanks for watching another video, guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.